So Jack travels down the river, 50% hallucinating, 50% unconscious, 100% still bleeding, and 3% still lucky. But now it's time for 3 months of Jack's Cave Story Plus. So after drifting down the river, seemingly unconscious most of the time, Jack finds himself in a forest, still being stalked by the samurai guy, who actually for once move while we're looking at him. That's new, even if his appearance is again very short-lived and mysterious. I mean, dude, seriously, come on, tell me who you are already. I wanna know. Anyway, Jack stumbles into a cave to pull the knife out of his gut, and this is where we meet Blue PTSD Phantom Jack again, who's now depicted as tall and sharp, very jagged compared to the last episode where he looked more like Jack did in season 1. I guess Phantom Jack is, despite seeming mostly like schizophrenia, a form of inner reflection on how Jack feels about himself as a whole. I mean, he talks about how this was his and Jack's first kill, about how Jack have survived worse, and how he now have to kill the rest of the daughters or die trying. Or to try dying instead, as Phantom Jack kind of alludes to before Jack seemed to pass out. So it kind of feels like a reflection of how Jack might be thinking of himself. Or not, I feel like sometimes I have a tendency to delve a little too deep into some things. So next up we see the white wolf again appear in front of Jack. I kind of thought the wolf died, but since he have to parallel Jack, I guess it was kind of obvious that he wouldn't. And for a good part of the episode they share the cave together, complete with lone warrior friendship, flashbacks, and open wound sewing, using dry string bark and a piece of pointy bone. Ugh. I've never had anything sewn back together on me before, but just the thought of it gives me the jitters. Anyway, the flashbacks are from Jack's childhood, probably triggered by some slight trauma. Well, I say slight, he kind of did get covered in blood while seeing his old man slaughter a bunch of dudes. You also get a Bushido lesson, I guess? I actually don't know much about Bushido, but to my understanding there are different Bushidos from family to family. Either way, the lesson from Jack's old man is simple and as clean cut as it can get. And with that lesson, the lesson that your actions reflect who you are, and being fully healed, Jack is now ready to face the daughters of Aku once more. So back at the tower ruins, the daughters have finally picked themselves back up after losing a sister. I kind of expect that it didn't take them this long to actually get out of the tower, and we are slightly back in time compared to when Jack is. Anyway, they leave behind their dead sister with little to no compassion or sorrow for having lost one of their own, to proceed with the hunt for Jack's life. Traveling down the river, they spot 2 deer. I guess it's called a doe for the female and stag for the male. The daughters mistake the stag for being a minion of Aku, with the antlers and everything being black, thinking that the stag will of course devour the weaker one because that's what Aku does. Which I find slightly funny, but also kind of sad that these girls lack basic understanding for, again, compassion, but also for love, as we see them get confused and one of them even angry at seeing the deer interacting kindly with one another. So they finally catch up to Jack. My guess is it's been about 2, maybe 3 months since Jack escaped their first encounter. As in the beginning of the episode, some trees had leaves, and Jack was at some point buried in a bunch of them while sleeping, meaning it might have transitioned from fall to winter in the meantime. So before the fight begins, Jack warns the daughters, almost mirroring his dad's words one-to-one, while it begins to snow. Of course, the daughters don't really care, and then it's time for more awesome visuals. Yeah. Note to self, stop using awesome to describe how I like visuals. It's not very reflective of the visuals and why I like them. Anyway, the contrasts with the black suits against the white really makes for a simple yet very accurate depiction of what it's like sticking your head in a white snowstorm at midday. Jack quickly manages to down the daughter's numbers from 6 to 4 with some quick hit and run like action, dipping in and out of the white. And this is where the fight seems to even out to a more fair state, as Jack straight up kills the next daughter while also keeping the other 3 at bay. This is where the remaining 3 daughters seems to use a technique that might have been what have given Jack a hard time back in episode 2, when there were also 7 daughters. It seems this technique might not be usable in tight spaces. Apparently Jack realizes this and of course splits them, and then runs for a place where he forced them to fight him one-on-one. This is where he barehanded obliterates the 3 remaining daughters, literally throwing one of them off a cliff. The episode also ending here with Jack himself falling off the very same cliff. Anyway, I had a blast with this episode, but why don't you share your 2 cents on the samurai guy in the comments? Oh, and don't forget to like, and also subscribe for more episodes with me and my opinions on Samurai Jack, and hopefully other things in the future. Anyway, let's play channel, me and my friends, being very unfiltered while playing games. I also have Twitter. Bye bye!